What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the next stimulus package updates, daily news, pretty much everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., money, investing, the stock market, pretty much everything you need to know about on a daily basis. I'll be here with you guys, pretty much updating you guys on everything you guys need to know about. Remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new updates. I will keep you up to date with everything you need to know about. Also, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. It really helps out our channel and tells the YouTube algorithm that I'm doing a good job for you guys. Also, I will have a special guest appearance for you guys at the end of this video, so make sure to watch all the way to the end for that special guest appearance. You won't want to miss. White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain says he's confident that the vaccine mandate will be upheld. This comes after, in the Supreme Court, this comes after a lower court, appeals court, has temporarily halted the vaccine mandate for businesses in a lower court that has now temporarily been halted. But White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain said on Sunday that he was, quote, quite confident that a vaccine or COVID test mandate for businesses would be upheld in the courts, saying, quote, I'm quite confident that when this finally gets fully adjudicated, not just a temporary order, the validity of this requirement will be upheld. It's common sense, Chuck. If OSHA can tell people to wear a hard hat on the job, to be careful around chemicals, it can put in place these simple measures to keep our workers safe, Ron Klain told Meet the Press. At least 26 states are currently filing legal challenges against the mandate developed by OSHA that requires businesses with at least 100 workers to either get vaccinated or adopt a policy that requires employees to undergo weekly virus testing and wear face masks in lieu of the vaccination. States have either argued that the vaccine or test mandate is unconstitutional or that OSHA has not been authorized to put in place sweeping public health regulations. West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey said in a statement last week that OSHA's vaccine mandate represents a real threat to individual liberty, whose state filed a lawsuit along with Kentucky, Idaho, Kansas, Ohio, Oklahoma, and Tennessee last week. Quote, as we have seen throughout the country, it is also a public policy disaster that displaces vulnerable workers and exacerbates a nationwide shortage of frontline workers with severe consequences for all Americans, quote, Morrisey added. In a win for one coalition of the states, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit issued a stay or a pause on the vaccine or test mandate on Saturday, temporarily stopping the federal requirement. The affected states include Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Utah, and South Carolina. Meanwhile, Pfizer has a new pill for the virus that they say cuts hospital and death risk by up to 90%, that they are seeking emergency use authorization. This would be for after you have already caught the virus, and they are seeking emergency use authorization. Merck, pharmaceutical company Merck, also has a similar pill that they're seeking emergency use authorization for as well. And this could be authorized here sometime in the near future. Pfizer said Friday that its experimental antiviral pill cut rates of hospitalization and death by nearly 90% in high-risk adults, as the drug maker joined the race for an easy-to-use medication to treat the virus. Currently, most virus treatments require an IV or injection. Competitor Merck's pill is already under review at the FDA after showing strong initial results, and on Thursday, the United Kingdom became the first country to okay it. Pfizer said it will ask the FDA and international regulators to authorize the pill as soon as possible, and independent experts recommend halting the company's study based on the positive strength of the results. Once Pfizer applies, the FDA could make a decision within weeks or months. Here is Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg on the stimulus package and items like paid family and medical leave being included in them.
I want to ask you about something I just spoke about earlier in the show with the second bill that you and I also talked about that has not been passed yet. We're hoping to get done in the next 2 weeks. You tweeted on November 3rd, millions of Americans deserve access to affordable child care. The Build Back Better plan offers pro-family policies that people want and need, and the policies that will help get more Americans back to work. The thing I was talking about a little earlier was paid family leave. America is one handful of countries in the world that does not guarantee paid family leave. You get it and I get it because of who we work for. But millions of Americans don't get it. We have a tight unemployment market. We're trying to attract immigrants from across the country. Paid family leave is something that has to happen.
Yeah, the data is clear that this is a good policy. That's why, I've always been for it. I campaigned on it. So did the president, and it's in the president's plan. Now, obviously, it's down to the House and the Senate in terms of what can pass. And the framework that the president put forward a couple of weeks ago is one that we have confidence can move through the House and the Senate, making it easier to raise a child in this country with things like that support, that financial dollars and cents support for Americans to be able to afford child care, as well as pre-K and the tax credit and these other things. Very important to point out that these are also part of our toolkit to fight inflation. One of the issues that we have that is holding back good economic progress, we're making amazing economic progress, as you saw in the jobs numbers yesterday, but one of the things stopping us from going even further is that we don't have the labor force participation that we want. And a lot of people want to work, they're ready to work, they like to work, they used to work, they can't find childcare or they can't afford it. And that is literally holding back our workforce. So make no mistake, these policies are the right thing to do. They're the right thing for families, but they're also very much the right thing for the economy. And anybody who is asking questions about inflation ought to be ready to support these moves that are going to help unstick the labor force by letting people go back to work, by helping them take care of their kids.
The labor force participation rate is just a little above 61% now. We want to see it above 63% to get that moving.
Now, as you can see here, moderate Democrats expect the Congressional Budget Office score and the White House cost analysis of the spending package of the stimulus package to match up. So remember, the only thing they're basically waiting on right now for the stimulus package or the spending package to pass in the House right now is the Congressional Budget Office score to basically do the math on the stimulus package, make sure that everything that the White House and the Democrats are saying about the stimulus package is on the up and up. The pay for it is on the up and up. And the moderate Democrats are expecting the Congressional Budget Office score to come back on the up and up. And that is what they are waiting on right now. And even the moderate Democrats, the ones that are kind of not sure about this, are expecting the cost analysis to come back and to match up. Once they do this, they're willing to vote on the stimulus package, say yes, and pass it in the House. Remember that Senator Joe Manchin in the Senate has also requested this. He wouldn't have voted on the stimulus package either, so they really would have needed that anyways for Joe Manchin to vote on this in the Senate as well. The question is that if and when they vote and pass this in the House, what is going to happen when they send it over to the Senate? Remember, they have to pass the bill in the House and the Senate. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says as soon as they pass it in the House, they're going to send it immediately over to the Senate. The question is, are things going to be removed in the Senate? After they remove things, if that happens, is there going to be an opportunity to add things in as well? Because I could see an opportunity, like, for example, I think that they're going to probably have to remove things like immigration that the Senate parliamentarian is going to rule out, saying it can't be included in the reconciliation process. If that's the case, that will reduce the price of the package, which Pramila Jayapal, leader of the Democratic Progressive Caucus, says that this package is currently gone up now to $2.1 trillion. So we had her interview on the show saying that the package has now gone up to $2.1 trillion because they have added paid family and medical leave and some immigration things and the cost of prescription drug, which is really a net negative cost. So the package is now $2.1 trillion. I have some hair flying around here. So $2.1 trillion, but when they remove some things, then there might be some opportunity for people like Bernie Sanders to negotiate maybe adding some things in place, maybe like a stimulus check for adults. Now, remember that there is currently kind of stimulus checks in there for children or monthly checks for children, whatever you want to call them, called the child tax credits. $250 to $300 per month for one more year, called the child tax credits, are in there for one more year, or extended for one more year, basically for 2022. I also want to say that the last payment for that would be on December 15th if they don't pass this package. If they do pass this package, they would extend for one more year. Also, don't forget that those child tax credits, there's also going to be a one lump sum. A lot of people kind of don't realize this or have forgotten. For the first 6 months of this year, January through June, are also going to be in there because remember that the monthly payments didn't start until July 15th. So anybody getting the child tax credits are also going to get a one lump sum for each child of the 6 months on this year's tax returns. Okay, so you're going to get 6 months of those payments for each child when you file your 2021 tax returns. Okay, so keep that in mind, that you're going to get that next year in 2022 for your 2021 tax returns. Okay, so you're going to get $1,500 to $1,800 per child for each child it's basically your first half of this year's payments. Okay, it's basically more than a stimulus check. So if you think about a $1,400 stimulus check, you're going to be getting $1,500 to $1,800 per child. Okay, so hopefully we'll see something maybe negotiated in there for adults as well. I am expecting there to be an adult tax credit, the earned income tax credit in there in this legislation. We'll have to see when they pass this bill for low income adults as well, once they pass this bill. When they pass this bill in the House, we're going to have a whole bunch of kind of things to sift through and see what's actually in the bill. Remember that they've been changing the bill pretty much here on a daily and hourly basis. And once they kind of pass the bill, we'll have a lot of things to sift through and see what's in the bill. I also want to say that once they pass the bill in the House, it's probably very likely that the Senate is going to change the bill. So please keep that in mind, that it's probably very likely the Senate is going to probably remove some things like immigration. Paid family and medical leave is probably a 50-50 whether that's going to make it. I think that's one of the things that really needs to stay in there. But I also think that as things get removed, that's going to lower the cost of the bill. I think that also presents an opportunity for people like Bernie Sanders to potentially be able to negotiate some things into the bill at the last moment. We've seen that happen with the third stimulus check package, where they were also able to add things in at the last moment as well. Whether or not that'll happen, we hope that'll happen, but that does present the opportunity, because as things get removed from the bill and the price tag, because remember, it just makes common sense that whenever you remove something from the bill, that lowers the cost. $100 billion, $50 billion, whatever the cost of whatever gets removed. So if you remove something and the cost of that particular item was $100 billion, just as an example, that frees up $100 billion that you could spend on something else. So again, I recommend you keep the pressure on your representatives, your senators, call them, email them, tweet them, and say, hey, this is the time to make your voices heard. Remember that for the second stimulus check package and the third stimulus check package, things were literally added in at the very last moment. On the second stimulus check, the second stimulus check was actually added in after they wrote the bill. And 6 days before they passed the bill, they added in the second stimulus check after they wrote the bill. They actually wrote the bill and didn't have a stimulus check in there and added it in at the last moment. They actually took away $160 billion away from states and cities and counties. They didn't add any money to the bill. They just took it away from the states, cities, and counties and decided to give it to the people instead. So they just kind of shifted the money from one program to another. And in the third stimulus check package, they kind of did similar item where they lowered the income threshold from the third stimulus check. Joe Manchin basically said he didn't think that people making $100,000 needed a third stimulus check. You may or may not agree with that. I think a lot of people kind of agree with that. And in addition, as part of the negotiations, they gave that $10,200 unemployment tax-free provision was added in there at the very last moment. In fact, it had very, very briefly even been talked about. It had just barely been talked about in passing. I think I had maybe heard about it one time ever. It had been one of those things that had barely even made the news ever. Like, I think I covered it on my show like one time ever. It wasn't even a big item that had ever been talked about, and they added that in at the very last moment. So they can literally add things in literally up until the last moment. In fact, that unemployment tax-free provision was after they wrote the bill, after the House passed the bill, and the Senate was on the voting floor, broke the record for the longest vote ever, and was in the voting process, and went off the floor and took Joe Manchin in a back room and went through this negotiation, which is very similar to what the House actually just did the other day when they passed the infrastructure package and did the same thing, paused the vote, broke the record for the voting process, and went off in a back room and did negotiations with a bunch of people, and realized that they needed to negotiate because they just didn't have the votes and needed to kind of negotiate. This is literally how things go down. So the House did it just the other day, and the Senate did it before with the third stimulus check package. So I'm kind of explaining to you because this is just how things happen. Can't make this stuff up. So that's why I advocate to you guys to email, call, tweet Bernie Sanders, Joe Manchin, Cori Bush, AOC, Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren, and constantly, I mean, power in numbers, right? Like, just keep emailing, calling, and tweeting them, because having these ideas in their head and constantly saying people are in need, we're in a pandemic, people need help, right? And just constantly having these ideas in their head, so when they go through these negotiations and saying, you know what, people really do need help. Low income people really need help right now. A lot of people are struggling. Yeah, not the people making $100,000 a year, but a lot of other people do need help right now. So when they go into those negotiations at these last minute type of things, and anything is possible, they're remembering all the people that reached out to them right then and there, right? Because these things literally happen. They go through these negotiations at the very last moment, and they're like, okay, well, this got removed, but let's add this in, or that got removed, and let's add this item in. And that's literally how things go down, right? And these are your elected officials, right? But remember, I have no, I wish I could be there negotiating for you guys, because I would be there. We would already have the help needed, right? I see your guys' comments every single day. I wish I could be the person there negotiating for you, because I would already have the help, be there for you guys, because I literally see your guys' comments every single day. I wish I could be the person negotiating for you guys, because I see so many people that need help right now during this pandemic. But remember that I'm not elected. I'm not an elected official. In fact, I don't even want to be, because I think it's just such a rough, nasty type of job. I feel like if you're a Democrat, all the Republicans hate you. If you're a Republican, all the Democrats hate you. Such a kind of tough job, but nonetheless, you have elected officials, so let your voice be heard. And I think there are a lot of good programs in this package: paid family and medical leave, child tax credits, which help out 65 million people, expanded Medicare benefits that are going to help out seniors. Hopefully this $800 stimulus debit card that's going to help out Medicare beneficiaries, and all these different type of programs, lowering the cost of childcare, and tax credits for I can't even think about all the different things that are in the package at this particular moment. An adult tax credit, the earned income tax credit. There's going to be so many different things, and rent assistance more in this package. There's going to be so many different things in this package that are going to be targeted to different groups of people, right? And we'll have to go through them all once the package passes. But I really feel like they could do more, right? I really feel like they could do more, and they could really take it a step further. So like I said, make your voices heard. They're your elected officials. They're the ones that you guys voted for, or maybe didn't vote for. But make your voices heard. Call them, email them, tweet them, and say, listen, I mean, if they don't, maybe then your vote might be for somebody else next time around. And remember that there's going to be another stimulus package after this. So this is kind of a half package. It's 1.75 to maybe $2 trillion at this point. President Biden has already confirmed they're going to come back around for another stimulus package after this. Remember, this package was originally supposed to be 3.5 trillion. So half of 3.5 trillion is the 1.75. So they're really going to pass this package on around 1.75 trillion, which is half. They've already passed the physical infrastructure package. So this first half package is going to be 1.75. Then they're going to come back around for the other half. And who knows what's going to be in that package. They just released two new bills just like in the last week or so to raise Social Security benefits that could be in the next package. That would be in addition to the cost of living adjustment, the 5.9%. That's already set in stone. That's going to go in effect for the January Social Security payment that's going to go out, 5.9% increase. That's the largest cost of living adjustment increase in 38 years. So whatever your current Social Security payment is, your SSI payment, your SSDI payment, whatever your Social Security payment is, your railroad benefit VA payment is going to go up by 5.9%. So that is the largest cost of living adjustment in 38 years. So remember that last year was only 1.3%. So that's like over almost 4 times more. So it's significantly more than it was last year. It's a whole lot better than 1.3% more. This is 5.9% more. Like I said, it's almost 4 times more. So, but in addition to that, they want to raise Social Security benefits by several $100s more. There's several different proposals. One proposal to raise it by $200 per month. There's another proposal they call the Social Security 2100 Act that they just reintroduced last week that would raise Social Security benefits by several $100s per month as well. And there's another proposal to raise Social Security to a minimum level of $1,341 per month. That could be coming in the next stimulus package as well. There's also a possible, you know how they have the child tax credits, this monthly payments, these monthly checks. There's also a possibility they could do that for low-income adults in the next package. And I think that they're going to probably try to, or the Democrats are going to try to do a lot of transformative, really big things in the next package as they try to hold on to the House and Senate, because I think they're going to try to do a lot of really big things. Not that this package doesn't have a lot of really big things, because I do think it has a lot of really big things. But I think they're going to try to really do a lot of big things in the next package as well, because I think that they're going to try to do the best they can to hold on to the House and Senate, because I don't think they want to lose the House and Senate. I think they're going to really try to hold on to it, because the Republicans are trying really hard to take back at least one of them. But I think they're going to try to pass a lot of really big things to keep the trifecta, the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So I think this next stimulus package could be really big as well.